These are 14 Kickstarters I'm excited about, and you should be too. Welcome back to After Evenfall, a channel all about inspiring you to embark on adventures from home. Today I'm going to be sharing 14 Kickstarters that I am super excited about. So let's jump into it. Board game number 1 is Explorers of Nevoria. So Explorers of Nevoria is a tableau building worker placement game where you are adventurers exploring the new land of Nevoria. You are building trading posts, gathering resources, and delivering resources. You can also get the expansion Forgotten Lands with your Kickstarter edition. I know I did. This is definitely a game that I backed. And the expansion gives you solo play and asymmetric player powers and so much more. There's a ton in this game. I'm really excited for it. The colors are super, super vibrant. The board just looks fantastic. It has it's one of the brightest, most colorful boards I've seen thus far. The art style looks very similar to Root, I would say. It's kind of got a Leader Games vibe to it, but consider it more vibrant, more colorful. It's like if Leader Games had rainbows throwing up on it. That's what I kind of think. This is one that I backed pretty much, I think, within the first 2 days that it came out. I saw it on BGG and I was just like, that is a game for me. And so I went ahead and backed it. But this game looks exciting, it looks fun, it looks engaging, it looks adventurous, and it is one that I look forward to having in my home. That is Explorers of Nevoria. So this second Kickstarter kind of falls under the realm of deduction game, which again is in my wheelhouse. It's a 2-player deduction style game, and that is Kelp. This is a game where one player is the octopus and the other player is the shark, and the octopus is trying to hide as the shark is trying to find it. There's an element of bag building to it. There are elements of deduction, and I am so looking forward to this one. I know a lot of people are too, because this Kickstarter was a really, really big hit. The board looks amazing. The components look fantastic. It is one of the games that I am probably looking forward to the most. I can't say this game, the board is just so, like, the deep, deep teals and the deep blues on the board and the deep greens are just amazing looking. I am so looking forward to playing this game. There's also a battling element to it, things like that, and that is number 2 on my list. That is Kelp. So number 3 on my board, is another one that I backed almost right away. I saw it and I was like, that is just one that I want. And that is Wondrous Creatures. So this game is another worker placement tableau building game where you have these cute little meeples that are going around the board collecting certain things. I really like the concept of meeples on meeples, because everyone gets their own character that you play, and then your character can be set on top of another meeple and like ride the little meeple around the board. And I just think that's so fun. This game also comes with a solo mode, which I'm really looking forward to. I haven't played as many solo games. I'm not really a big solo gamer, but it's something that I really want to try to get into more in the future. And so this kind of would be able to... I find that if I play solo games, there's a much higher likelihood of me being able to learn them versus if I'm just waiting to play them with my husband. But this game has an evolving map. It has a ton of Kickstarter exclusive components to it. Like they have like an axolotl and a unicorn that you can ride around, and they just look fantastic. And the box is everything I wish a board game could be. Their box cover I think is phenomenal. It's a book looking cover. I don't know what this was, but it's a book looking cover, and then all of their expansions are little books to add to the collection so they can slide onto your shelf just like a book, and they have this really pretty gold foil on them, so I'm really excited for that. I love just if anything is cute or if it looks well produced, I just think it's fantastic. And the sheer amount of beautiful creature cards that it has me so excited because they are just so cool, and I couldn't be more excited for this game. So that is Wondrous Creatures. All right, so number 4 on my list is a very big hit. It was one of the higher grossing Kickstarters of this past year, and that is Critter Kitchen. Sandra Tang is back at it again. She is the artist for Flamecraft, which I think I have up there. Yeah. So she is the artist for Flamecraft, and she has partnered with Cardboard Alchemy again to make this new game that's called Critter Kitchen, where you are playing these little creatures that are going to the markets to get food, to make dishes that you present to critics, and you get scores for those things. And I think that sounds like such a fun game. It reminds me very much of those restaurant style games that you can have on like your Switch. I'm looking forward to all of the cute components. I like that the characters that you play, like your chef, is kind of a little bit asymmetric. Like if you have the mouse one and you send the mouse out to the market, your mouse gets out there faster than everything else does, but your mouse can only carry one good, versus if you have like the pig is slower, but the pig also can carry 3 things back with you, so you can have an advantage there. There's also these really cute, they call them, no, they're not sous chefs, they call them zoo chefs in the game, and those look like such a fun addition. There is so much content that is coming in this game. There are cards, pieces, and there's just so much to do, which I think looks really cool because you can have a wide variety of people play with you. So this game looks like it's fairly easy to teach, but then there's enough going on in the game that if you're a more seasoned player who wants more gameplay or more time, or you want to be able to think out your decisions better, you have plenty of options on the table to work with. It looks like a really fun game from everything that I've been able to see. I actually backed it under the merch fee, so once that comes in, I think the predicted delivery date is December. I always kind of add 3 months onto that, but once that's in, I'm hoping that I'll be able to do an unboxing video for you guys, because there is a ton of stuff in the merch feast. There are like cookie cutters and oven mitts and all sorts of good extra things, coasters. So I'm really hoping that that'll come soon enough. If it comes in December, I will be pleasantly surprised. I will be very excited, but we'll have to wait about a year to get that. Cardboard Alchemy did such a good job with Flamecraft that I have really high hopes for this game. It looks like the components are going to be really, really sturdy and really good looking, and the screen printed meeples look like they're going to be phenomenal. So I'm really excited for this game, and that is Critter Kitchen by Cardboard Alchemy. So the 5th Kickstarter that I'm really excited for is actually supposed to be delivering here in maybe like a month or so. I backed it, I want to say back in like January, February. I'm not quite sure when it was, but of last year. But this is a game that I saw originally from Tantrum House, and the artwork on it is just beautiful. Like, if this artist could make 5 more games like this, I would be the happiest camper on the planet. And this game is Lore. So Lore is a game where you're given a character, and your character can embark on quests. They can do storytelling. It's a very adventurous medieval style looking game. The components are just beautiful. I cannot speak highly enough of them. They have these double-sided field boards that are just, oh my goodness, they are amazing. Like, you could hang them up on your wall. They're so pretty. There are elements of dice, card play, and dice rolling. As you build up your character, there's also action selection involved, and I don't know a ton about the gameplay. I did watch some of the playthrough, but it looks phenomenal. It is one of probably the best looking games that I've seen in a really long time. The theme is just so cohesive. You look at the board and you feel like you're in a fairy tale. It is beautiful, and that is Lore. Okay, so the next 2 games are kind of cheat games. They're not technically full-blown games. They're mostly expansions, but my first one on that list is Honeybuzz Fall Flavors. So this is an expansion that offers use of extra little squishy components. Instead of harvesting nectar from flowers, you're harvesting them from fruit. And then there are also some additional tiles added in with the regular tiles. The components look phenomenal. Honeybuzz is one of my all-time favorite games, so I really am looking forward to having some more gameplay involved in it, especially as you're building your tableau, actions that allow you to take more opportunities. I will say that I backed this a while ago, and it still feels like they're kind of somewhere in the middle of production, which happens a lot with Kickstarters. Sometimes they'll run into hiccups. I know that with this company, it looked like their squishy fruit was heated to too high of a temperature, and so it's coming out hard, and they really care a lot about their components, and they want them to be squishy. That's part of their brand, which I think is phenomenal. If you're willing to go the extra mile to make sure that your things stay consistent, I love that in a company. So they're very thorough, and I'm very interested to see when they're going to ship, and hopefully I will be able to get that soon. All right, so the second expansion is Tokyo Highway Rainbow City. So I actually haven't played the original Tokyo Highway. It's one that I've had on my list for forever, but I just didn't feel like any rush to buy it until I saw that they were coming out with a Kickstarter for an expansion, which pushed me into buying it. In Tokyo Highway, it's kind of a dexterity game where you're building up all of these highways, and when you look at it from like the table level on the board, the table presence just looks so cool. It's got kind of a minimalist feel to it where a lot of the pieces are gray and then your cards are colorful. But this expansion adds extra elements, like there's a building that you can build or like a rainbow that you can push your cars through. I'm really, really interested to see how the gameplay works out. I've heard a lot of good things about this game, and it's one that I've had it on my list for a long time, and I just haven't had a chance to buy it yet, and now I'm really excited that I'm going to get it in a few months. So in this expansion, they've also added new car types. So instead of being, I think there were like, instead of however many mount were in the regular game, they've now bumped it up to about 10 different car types. And you place those on your highways strategically to gain enough points. And there's also an option for 2-player play, which I got with my Kickstarter that I backed. I'm really interested to see how that goes, especially because, like I said, most of the time it's me and my husband. So I'm really excited to have a game that I can play with him that's more dexterity based. We don't own very many dexterity games at all. I think the only one I can even think of is we own Ice Cold, which is like a flicking game. So I'm really excited to add another one to our collection, and that is Tokyo Highway Rainbow City. So the next game on my list is, fear not, a full game, and that is Gems of Iridecia. So this is a worker placement game that has a bit of a luck element to it. I haven't heard a ton about it. They just have one page that you kind of read through. So this game is supposed to be easy to learn, which might make it a really good game for families, which would be really nice for me. I guess that the age range is 10 and up. However, my one concern with this game is that it does look like it's geared toward more younger kids than it is maybe adults. I'm really hoping, I don't think that they are including this, but I'm really hoping that they include plastic or acrylic gemstones. I think that would make this game so much fun. I always, like I said, live for upgraded components. The art in it is super quirky and fun. It hasn't yet gone to Kickstarter. It's supposed to go to Kickstarter, I believe, in the next few months or so. I'm on their email list. I'll let you guys know if I hear anything. I don't know much more about that, so there's not much more that I can share, but that is Gems of Iridecia. So my next game is also another game that is kind of in the works. It hasn't hit Kickstarter yet. It's getting in the process of that, and this game is Everstone. So right from the start, I saw the cover of the game, and I immediately knew this was going to be a game for me. This is a game where you have traveled to this city of Ignis, and as you get there, you realize that it hasn't been built out as much as you would kind of hoped, so this gives you a chance to earn reputation and to build up the city and hopefully eventually become the leader of I think it's Ignis is the name of the city. So you are a merchant. There are some action selection elements to it. There's also some engine building to the game. That's about all I know about it. There's not a ton. There's just, again, it's like the other game where they kind of just have their one website and that's all the information that you get. But the game itself looks really exciting. It looks really interesting, and I'm very hopeful to see where it goes and hopefully to back it. So that is Everstone Discovering Ignis. So the next game is a game that the campaign just closed on. And again, I don't speak other languages very well. This is a word that I always have a hard time with, so you're going to have to bear with me here. But it is Kabuto Sumo Sakura. Sakura? Sakura. Sakura. Sakura.
Sakura.
Sakura. Kabuto Sumo Sakura. So this is a game that kind of has a toy element to it, almost like a toy appeal. You've got like this board in the middle, and you're pushing your little sumo wrestlers on, trying to bump off other sumo wrestlers, and there are these extra little pieces on the board that shift and move it as you're playing. This version of the game, you can get a piece of the board that helps it to rotate, and then there's also some extended pieces of the board that add on. There are, I believe, 8 new wrestlers being introduced into the game. And this is another game that I've heard a million things about. The game has been out for forever, what feels like forever. And I've had it on my list. I haven't bought it yet. And I just needed that extra little Kickstarter push to get me to actually buy the game. So this one is, I'm getting the regular edition as well as I'm getting this Sakura edition. And I can't wait. I'm really excited. It looks like it's a fantastic game for families. Like, kids and adults can both really enjoy it. Everything I've seen about it, it looks like it's a blast. Like, it's a good party game. It's a good game to bring to the table with a lot of people. And it would be nice to have 2 different copies. Like, you could have the base copy and the other copy so that you can have more people playing at once. And you can do maybe like a big competition with it. I don't know. It looks really fun, and I'm really excited to get it when it eventually comes to production.
Sakura.
And that is Kabuto Sumo Sakura Edition. So game number 11, this is, I don't know why I did a 2, but this is a game that I am simultaneously excited and nervous about, okay? This is a game that's actually already been in production once. This is in its second round of production on GameFound right now, and that is Earthborne Rangers. So why am I nervous about it? I have never played a campaign game. In all my years, I've been we've been in the hobby for like 6 years now. We have a pretty good stack of games, and I've never once played a campaign game. I know, it's a lot to admit. But I have been so nervous too, just because I like playing different games all the time, and the idea of playing one game over and over and over again and having to play it for extended hours has always been intimidating. But this game just looked so neat. I had to buy it. This is a game where you are a ranger in some future version of Earth, and you are exploring, you are adventuring, you're seeing a lot of new creatures that you have to face, and the line that sold me is that it is like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, the Zelda games, but on the board. And I really like those games a lot, so I'm really hoping that this is going to be very similar vibes. It looks phenomenal. The art is fantastic. It looks like they put a ton of work into it. I've seen some little clips of like their art as it's being developed and things like that, and it just looks really, really exciting and really good. And so this is one that I can't wait to receive a copy of, really. And I mean that, like, I am so excited for this one, but again, so nervous. I am so intimidated by the idea of a campaign game. I can't tell you guys enough. You'll have to give me some support there because I'm so nervous about it. And that is Earthborne Rangers. So board game number 12 on my list is Alpenglow, the ski resort game. Now this is a Euro-style game where you are building out your ski resort. You are adding runs, you are building out businesses in your ski resort village center. You are adding skiers to your map as your runs build out. You're adding lifts, and it looks like a really cool game. I haven't heard very much about it outside of the web page for it itself that links to, I think, a game found. And I saw it and I had to back it just because my husband, he is a really avid skier. He loves that. He loves being out on the slopes, and we live near one of the country's like top ski resorts, so he likes to be out there. And he also went and got his undergrad in business management. He's always talked about how fun it would be to open up a ski resort and how neat it would be to run all the analytics behind it and things like that. He loves skiing, and he loves the business side of it. He's always wanted to kind of mesh those two passions. And I thought it would be fun to buy him a board game that kind of brought all of those things together and gave him the idea of building out a ski resort without actually having to do it in real life. And so Alpenglow seems like a really good option for us. I'm very excited to get that one. It might be a while. Like I said, it's a really quiet, they're not really like talking a lot about it, but I really am looking forward to playing the game, and I'm hoping that it plays as well as it looks, because it looks like a really fun game. The art style is very similar to something that you would see on like old style posters of ski resorts. And I am just looking forward to this game, and hopefully we'll see when it comes out. We'll see. I mean, I pre-ordered it, so it should come hopefully in the next year or so, but that is Alpenglow, the ski resort game. So board game number 13 that I'm looking forward to is a game that is on its second round of printing as well, so that's why I kind of called it a cheater game, but this is Ice, and they're about to put out another game found of Ice Unlimited in, I think, less than 100 days. So in this game, you are an adventurer. You're seeking out hidden treasure and hidden ancient artifacts as you dig down through the ice. It includes components of a dual-sided game board. I think that there might be some asymmetric factions related to that, but you're trying to get these artifacts back to the city before someone else can take them or destroy them or things like that. The board itself, I'm not even kidding, like, it is so cool looking to me. And you all know I love archaeology, so anything with even a hint of archaeology in it is just something that it's definitely up my alley. So I am really looking forward to that kind of strategy. I know that there is also another Kickstarter related to this or it's a game found that's related to this game that recently was, I don't know if it's still in its crowdfunding period or if that's already passed, but the artwork in that one looks fantastic. I just couldn't bring myself to pull the trigger when I know the Ice is on the way, and that's the one that I wanted first. The art kind of reminds me a little bit of Lore. They have similar, almost like watercolor looking styles, and I don't know why. I love like the frozen icy themes. I just think they're so cool because there's something about ice where it glistens and it sparkles and the blues and the whites just look so pretty together, and I just think that this board game in particular looks really, really clean. It looks really nice, and I am so looking forward to backing it in less than 100 days, so I'm really excited about that. So I know that one of the members of the Dice Tower put it on their top 100 list, which that kind of, I had already been watching it, but that kind of piqued my interest even more. And I am just really looking forward to it. I can't wait to get my hands on a copy and to really play out this game. It just looks amazing, and I'm so excited for it. And that is Ice. So on the theme of ice and water and discovery, board game number 14 follows just along with that, and it is one that I am sure everyone has heard about over and over and over again, as it's been on hold for almost 2 years now, and that is Floe. So this theme kind of is really similar with the other theme, except instead of being people, you're animals, it looks like from the cover. The artist who made this is the exact same one who made Everdell, and his art just blows me away every time. I can't get enough of it, and I just am dying to get my hands on this game. It has been a long, long, long wait. They announced it, I believe, like 2 years ago, and they had a period of time where they had to postpone the project for a year, and I have had my little save button on that thing, on that sucker on Kickstarter for so long, it's not even funny, but I've been just anticipating jumping on that crowdfunding campaign, and I'm so looking forward to it. So in this game, you are these little animals, you're going out and you are battling monsters, discovering new things, and setting sail across this frozen wasteland. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of similar to the theme of ice. It's just animals instead of people, and the gameplay of the two different games are completely different. It's just, they kind of have very similar themes. Both of them involve exploring icy wastelands. Both of them involve kind of exploiting the riches that are in them. Everything about this game in particular looks so wildly engaging, and I am so interested in being able to play it. I have seen only like 2 or 3 pictures of it from, I want to say, Essen, and it just looks phenomenal. It looks very Everdell-ish, like it all kind of fits nicely in that realm. I don't think it's published by the same company. If it is, correct me on that. The components just look fantastic, and I will say Everdell just holds a huge place in my heart because it was one of, I grew up playing Settlers of Catan all the time, ad nauseum. My mom and my aunts used to play it every time we all got together, and Settlers of Catan or Ticket to Ride, like those 2 games were staples in our house. But Everdell was released shortly after I got married, and it was one of the games that we first purchased as a married couple, and it was one of those games that really, I saw Everdell, I bought Everdell, and I knew that there were other games in this realm of hobbies, but I didn't ever understand how broad the spectrum was, how many different games there were. I always just kind of assumed it was whatever was at Target is what was available for sale. I had no idea that you could go to game stores and buy tons of different games and that there were massive libraries and collections, and Everdell was the game that introduced me to all of that. And ever since then, I have just had this wild passion for all of the board games and the way they challenge your brain and the way they keep me on my toes and always entertained. And so Everdell being the game that it was for me, the intro game to the whole entire hobby, it has that special place in my heart, and the artwork in it, and Andrew Bosley is the artist, and he just does such a phenomenal job, and I'll always have to kind of tip my hat to him for introducing me into the hobby. And so anything that he does from here on out, there's a good chance that I'll be purchasing, and Floe is no exception to that rule. So this has been 14 Kickstarters that I'm really excited about upcoming in the next year or 2, and I am looking forward to seeing all these come into production and hopefully getting some in my home, and I hope you are as well. I hope this list was helpful for you and what you want to prepare for in the future. If you want to see more of After Evenfall, don't forget to click this box right here to see our latest video, and click this box right here to be taken to our channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button and ring that bell to get all new notifications on when we upload new content. I'm so excited to have you join us here in the Evenfall community, and I hope to see you again soon.